Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Oh shit, man. Shit fucking hurt, bro. You try getting slapped by a chick, man. It fucking hurts. I'm telling y'all, man. What's going on, everybody? What's up? How's everyone doing? Now live here, the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, September the 2nd, 2025. August is over. September's here. What did that song go? Wake me up when September ends, right? I think that's how the song goes. But if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share with all of your friends all over social media. Hit that bell notification to be notified whenever this channel goes live. Like we were on Sunday, right after Clash in Paris with a live post show. I must say, I kind of did myself with that thumbnail, huh? Look at that. Look at that, yo. Look at that. But what is up, everyone? It's me. It is Steve. I hope you all are having a good day. I want to take this time to give a shout out to all the parents out there, all of the parents who this week, if you have already or you're about to, put your morning quickies on hold just to get your children ready for the first day of school. If you're a parent, I'm sure you are excited, you are thrilled. Now, look, I'm sure there's some parts of the U.S. where school been started, but here in Jersey, school starts this week for a lot of kids. My niece and nephews go to school this week, so that's, here in the Northeast, but I can't speak for other states. But be that as it may, I hope all of you are having a good day. I hope all of you are enjoying yourselves. Raw last night was live in Paris, France. Once again, they were once again at the Paris La Défense Arena, the same place where they were for Clash in Paris. And let me just say this: the crowd once again made this show enjoyable. They really did. Now, I'm looking at Cage Match right now, and they're giving this a 6.97. A 6.97 out of 10. I'll be honest with a lot of you. Had the show not been in Paris, had it been somewhere in the States, I probably would have told you this Raw was all right for the most part. But I really do feel because of the crowd, because they were so energetic and they were just wanting everything. They wanted everything Again, they were just so energetic. They were into everything that they were doing. They really gave this show a notch. They bumped it up a notch. For me, I can't speak for a lot of you. Let me know your thoughts, whether you're watching live in the chat or if not on demand, with your thoughts on Raw from last night. Last night on the show, we did see the slap. Becky Lynch slapped CM Punk. She literally slapped him multiple times, and Punk, for the most part, took it like a champ. CM Punk did not want anything to do with Becky Lynch, because and it's not because he was afraid of Becky Lynch or anything like that. It's just the fact that this whole thing regarding Seth Rollins and obviously himself, CM Punk. By the way, I think today marks 2 years since CM Punk was let go by AEW. I saw it on social media. I had to bring it up. But anyway. Um, I must say, for CM Punk, Becky has nothing to do with this, even though she did low blow CM Punk at the end of Clash in Paris in that fatal 4-way. So technically, yeah, if I'm CM Punk, who, by the way, throughout the entire night was hoping Seth Rollins would make his way through the gate where, everyone comes in and come out of the building, right? He was hoping Rollins would, make his way, because according to Punk, everyone comes in through the same gate or door, whatever it was, and he was waiting all night, right? So I guess for Punk to hear Seth's music and to see Becky, not Rollins, was kind of a like a what the fuck, you know? But I said this on the post show for Clash in Paris. If you guys have not checked that out, go give that a watch. I did say, WWE has an opportunity to do something, completely crazy / petty, depending who you talk to, right? Because everyone was chanting AJ Lee. Everybody was chanting AJ Lee, because everyone's under this idea that AJ Lee is the one who's making that appearance at WrestlePalooza or whenever they do the match, right? Now, there's been talks that AJ isn't, being considered and all that stuff. And all this, look, I'll be honest with you, Becky being part of the vision, does she really need to be in the group? No, not really. But for the promos, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to hear Becky being the one doing the talking, right? Instead of Rollins every single week saying the same spiel every single fucking week. So the fact that we see Becky in this, right, doing the talking, is refreshing um, for the most part. But the way this is being set up, like, look, it needs to be AJ Lee. It needs to be AJ Lee. Now, uh, everyone's saying, oh man, it better be AJ. It better not be, Rhea Ripley. Because I know we saw backstage on Raw, Punk was talking to Rhea Ripley. Or it better not be Bayley, because Bayley's away, but it looks like Bayley's still being involved with Lyra Valkyria, right? In some way, shape, or form. So um that's fine, Universal. I don't like her coming back. And April still has a broken back and has severe bipolarism. That may be fine. Look, there's some people who are content with her not coming back, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, I think it boils down to the fact that, hey, um, people are anticipating her for the return, right? Because for so long, right, it's, oh, she's gonna be at the Royal Rumble, man. She'll be an entrant in the Women's Rumble match. And since Punk returned to WWE, right, since 2023, right, the 2024 Rumble, the 2024 Rumble. Oh, we're gonna get AJ Lee. No, nothing happened. Oh, are we gonna get her at the 2024 Rumble? Well, that 2025 Rumble that just passed. Nope, didn't happen either. Right? Oh, will she appear in the Battle Royal at Evolution? Nope. So at this point, it's now or never. And honestly, I don't think this is going to be one of those you know, long-term returns where she's back and she's going to be back in the full swing of things. I think this is more for AJ to just a one-off. Just one match, get this match, do it, right? Work with Becky in this mixed tag if it ends up happening, and that's it. And I'll be honest, I'll be content with that. But also factor in it's on the same night as All Out. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm watching just one show and then the other. I'm watching All Out first. But I've seen those same people, and this is what I love about the pro wrestling community. We live in this world full of contradictions, right? The same people that were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna watch All Out," right? And I'll get to watch WrestlePalooza. But when the discussions of now AJ Lee coming back, those same people, oh, I'm gonna watch WrestlePalooza. Those same people are gonna lose it. Those people who do those reaction streams and reaction clips, what have you, on social media, those same people are gonna be the ones to lose it. The moment they hear Light It Up and you see AJ Lee wearing those Chuck Taylors skipping down to the ring or wherever it may be. But it has to be her. It has to be her. And you know for a fact WWE is going to stack up that first ESPN PLE. They're going to stack that up like crazy. Like right now, yes, we're talking about this mixed tag team match, right? AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. They've already made official for WrestlePalooza Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship for the vacant title, right? They already made that official, right? You're going to likely do Brock and John Cena. You're likely to do as well, more than likely, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Who knows, right? But you're already looking at a stacked card. You're stacking this up. You want to leave a very good, strong impression on ESPN, on your first inaugural ESPN PLE. And it just so happens to fall on the same day as All Out, right? But be that as it may, I thought Raw overall, for me at least, right, that crowd made the show enjoyable. I said this earlier. Had it not been for that crowd, this show would have been an all right show for the most part, right? But the crowd literally were very energetic all 3 nights. They were energetic on SmackDown. They were energetic at Clash in Paris on Sunday. And then obviously last night on Monday Night Raw. I did not get to watch the show live, being that I was out, but I did catch the replay like some people did out there and stuff like that. But let me know your thoughts on the show, whether you liked it or not. Universal right here, but they already spoiled that Io is winning, then dropping the title to Rhea at Crown Jewel. I didn't hear this. She left 10 years ago, but she almost broke her neck and lost feeling in her arms and legs. I know she was featured in the what was that? It's on Netflix now. Heels, right? She was part of that Heels show on. It was on Stars at one point, but then it went to Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, believe it or not. I haven't watched it, but I know she was on it. So was CM Punk. So she said before she's open to making a return, but time will tell. But overall, I thought Raw was a fun show because of the crowd, right? So the show opened up, obviously, with Punk confronting Adam Pearce backstage. Punk said he will wait for the Vision in the parking lot. In the parking lot. She will wait for them in the parking lot to come out. Jey Uso, after this, came out. And normally when Jay comes out, right? Normally when chairwoman, what do you mean chairwoman? Universal, what are you talking about? Chairwoman. But Normally, when Jay comes out, he does the yeeting, right? And he was not in the yeeting mood. He was not in the yeeting mood at all. He came out to the ring through the crowd, obviously, right? And you got the visual of everyone in the building yeeting, right, with their phone, the flashlights and stuff like that. Um, but he basically emphasized that he, and again, they were hoping that Jay would run it back, right? And Jay was not in the mood because obviously he did not win the world heavyweight title. And Jay emphasized that he does not play around with his family. It immediately called out the Vision because if you remember, at Clash in Paris, the Vision took out Roman Reigns. They have him in the hospital. That was the way they wrote him out, right? Because he's about to go film Street Fighter, right? But then out of nowhere, who happens to make the response? LA Knight. And Knight said that everything could have been avoided had Uso not cost him the match. And he was sick and tired of not being the world champion. To his credit, though, let's just keep it 100. At least LA Knight was not the one who took the pinfall. Because I'll be honest, when they announced this Fatal 4-Way, I'm like, yo, LA Knight is going to be the one to eat the pin. But no, it was CM Punk. And knowing what we know now, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? And obviously, there's this tension between Jey Uso and LA Knight, and then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker interrupted to brag about laying out Roman Reigns before saying that Uso and Knight were next in line. Everyone was chanting OTC, OTC, even though they failed to realize that it's Roman Reigns was not showing up, right? And then Knight and Jey Uso accepted their challenge, setting up for the tag team match, which was the main event of the evening. So overall, look, I like the fact that, again, Jey was still angry. It's like, yeah, he's angry that he didn't win the match, but he's more angry for his family. And it's cool to see that for him, family means much more, right? And in LA Knight situation, it's like, man, I didn't win because of you, right? Because of Jey, but there's still that tension. But then the main event itself, look, I said this before and I'll say it again. The moment Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns go at it, it's going to feed families. It will. It is going to feed families, and it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy when they do it. But again, that's going to be somewhere down the road when they do end up stepping into the ring. So after that, we did get backstage Io Sky apologizing to the Kabuki Warriors backstage. And Sky tried to offer her services because it was going to be the Kabuki Warriors versus the Judgment Day of Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. And again, Io Sky was offering her services, but Asuka said, that they had it handled, right? They don't need help, which led to the first match of the night. The Kabuki Warriors, who were over, well, more Asuka. Asuka was over as Rover with this crowd. Even though Asuka's been acting very heelish as of late, we even saw it throughout the night. She was like, yo, over as Rover with this crowd. Everything that she did, big pop. When she got tagged in, big pop, right? The match itself, I'll be honest, it just felt like your prototypical tag team women's match that you see on television every single week. The crowd, obviously, were cheering for Asuka, everything that she did, and she did pick up the win for her team when she hit the Asuka lock on Roxanne Perez, making her tap out. The match itself went about 11 minutes. So there was that for the most part. After this, Adam Pearce announced, because they had this whole video set up, all nicely done, produced, right? Adam Pearce announced that Io Sky will face Stephanie McCurr for the women's world title at WrestlePalooza. I already, obviously, I showed this moments ago, but I'll show it again. Yeah, that's happening at WrestlePalooza on September 20th. Streaming exclusively on ESPN, direct to consumer. I think that's what they're calling it. But also, if you have if you are international or if you got that VPN, Netflix, buddy, Netflix. From there, um, we got what's it called? Backstage, we saw what's it called? Well, my bad. For after this, right? After this, we got Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. I thought the match for the most part was it was a very solid match for the most part. These two guys went back and forth. They referenced on commentary how both guys were over abroad. You know, obviously Dragon Lee in Mexico and in Japan. Obviously Finn Balor was over in Japan himself. I found out that Dragon Lee. I learned that he tried boxing at one point. He tried boxing. I learned that yesterday on commentary. Um, Thank you, T and Couponer. I must say, man, I kind of did myself with this one, didn't I? I kind of did myself, huh? And then obviously this was the one for Clash in Paris, and obviously this was my Forbidden Door preview, my bad recap that I did when I came back from Europe. But anyway, let me get back into focus mode here. Let me get back into focus mode here. The match itself was fun for the most part. There's a moment in the match where Finn was in the tree of woe and JD got on the apron and Dragon Lee Hurricane Ran him outside off the apron. And that is what cost Dragon Lee because Finn recovered threw Dragon Lee off the top turnbuckle and hit the coup de grace for the 1-2-3. So even though, you know, the women of the Judgment Day didn't get the win, Finn Balor got a win for the Judgment Day. And obviously, they're still the tag team champion, that being JD and Finn Balor. So there was that overall solid match between these two guys. I know they could do better, though. We saw backstage Io Sky talking to Nikki Bella, right? Even though, because we found out what's going to happen at, you know, WrestlePalooza. You know, Nikki saying, you know, Stephanie's her girl, but she's also impressed with what Io Sky's done. And then out of nowhere, the Kabuki Wars interrupted the conversation. Nikki Bella felt very disrespected by it. And then she walked away. I know for a lot of people, after what we saw on Sunday, that was it. I don't think it is, though, but that's just me, of course. Okay. But basically, that was that for the most part. And, you know, Nikki Bella, again, in that conversation. And for the most part, again, like I said before, like you were seeing, you know, Asuka acting very heelish, right? Acting very heelish. And Kairi Sane looks like she's trying to scream for help, but she can't do it, right? She can't do it at all, which is like throughout the night, you hear Asuka scream out, Kairi, which was like a punchline, but be that as it may. After this, we saw Penta and the War Raiders of Eric and Ivar versus Grayson Waller and the New Day. Penta got over with this crowd. They were chanting Ole, 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 Cerro, Miedo, and stuff like that. I thought the match for what it was for a 6-man, it was okay. Nothing to really go crazy about. Again, this crowd made these matches feel fun to watch. Again, if this was in the States, I probably would have not cared. I probably would have not cared at all, right? But obviously, the War Raiders and Penta got the win. They hit the Penta hitting the Mexican Destroyer on Xavier Woods for the 1-2-3. So there was that. The match went about 8 minutes and 24 seconds. And after this, right, we see Rhea Ripley interviewed, right, backstage, and she got interrupted by Asuka. And again, let's go back to what I'm saying too with Asuka. Asuka, again, is acting very, very heelish here and said that she will push anyone she wants, including her, that being Rhea Ripley. And I'll be honest, in all of this, I really want to see Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. I didn't mention this earlier, but when when Io Sky were talking to the Kabuki Warriors after the Kabuki Warriors interrupted Io Sky and Nikki Bella, the Kabuki Warriors said, "Oh, we will be there to help you beat Stephanie McCur at WrestlePalooza." I think that is a way for them to screw over Io Sky, but we'll see how that goes. Uh, Looking forward to Io versus Stephanie at WrestlePalooza by TN Couponer. Kyrie is stuck in the middle and she doesn't know what to do exactly. She does not know what the fuck to do. No clue at all. Um, After this, we see backstage, um, Adam Pearce was going to have a meeting with Lara Valkyria. And then Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez confronted Adam Pearce because they found out that, at WrestlePalooza, it's Io Sky and Stephanie McCurr. And Roxanne's like, how come I'm not added to this match? She's a former 2-time NXT Women's Champion, and she's a former Women's Tag Team Champion, so she wants to be added to the match, even though early in the night, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez did not win their tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors. So she wants to be added to this match, and they got into it also with Lara Valkyria, where they basically said that it's Lara's fault that Bayley is the way she is right now, having this mental breakdown. And all this led to Adam Pearce letting Lara know that he has talked to Bayley, Adam Pearce has conversated with Bayley, and she should be back next week or whenever the case may be. But Lyra was like, was that it? That just can't be it. But because of what happened earlier, she wants a match with Roxanne Perez for next week. So that's happening next week. That's happening. They're going to have a match. And look, for the most part, they've had matches before in NXT. And so you already know what to expect from these two. You kind of know what to expect. I think they're going to go out there. They're going to tear it down next week when it does happen. From there, we did get Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. AJ was over as all hell with this crowd. They were chanting his name. They were basically chanting phenomenal multiple times. It was insane the way they were chanting phenomenal throughout the night for AJ Styles. That was, to me, crazy as all hell, right? Yeah, my computer's acting very funny. We're good. Y'all hear me? We're good. Let me know. Awesome. But yeah, they were chanting phenomenal, right? Multiple times. Is due to a song from France that has the word phenomenal, right? I literally thought for a second I was at a PSG game. I was watching a PSG game on Netflix, right? And I thought overall this was a very, very good match. Was this as good as their SummerSlam match? In my opinion, it was there. I thought the SummerSlam match was better than this, right? Because obviously it was SummerSlam and I was there, right? And we're good again. I was going on my computer, but I hate that it's acting up or not. It pisses me off. God damn it. Anyway. I thought, again, just the back and forth here between these two was very good. Dominic hit the Michinoku driver. He hit I guess what they're calling, remember the Edge-O-Matic that Edge used to do back in the day, or Cope? Well, he did it. They're calling it the Mullet-O-Matic, whatever that means. Once again, my computer's acting very funny right now. What the hell? Guys, bear with me here. Bear with me. Just bear with me, folks. We're good. We're good. And again, I thought this match was better than their SummerSlam match. I thought their SummerSlam match was better, right? I also factor in I was there, so I'm a little biased towards the SummerSlam match. But I'll be honest, the way this was going, the way they were hot for AJ, it also factor in because of what happened in the JD McDonough, because of what happened in the Finn Balor Dragon Lee match, right? With JD getting involved, they pretty much banned the Judgment Day from the Intercontinental Championship match. They were banned, right? No one from the Judgment Day can be involved, be at ringside for Dominic, right? So it looked like AJ had this match won, ready to become new champion. It was going to go for the phenomenal forearm, right? because somewhere in this match, AJ hits a bloody Sunday on Dominic, right? Hits him with a bloody Sunday. And again, Dominic selling like he's hurt. And AJ he's on the apron, ready to hit the phenomenal forearm. I mean, who happens to interrupt and get involved? El Grande Americano. He gets involved, hits him with the steel metal piece that he puts in the mask in the chest, and Dominic uses that and recover, hits the frog splash for the 1-2-3. So Dominic retains, and I'll be honest with you guys, a part of me felt like, Dominic, to me, honestly, I felt like AJ should have won here, in my opinion. But at the same time, I understand why he didn't win, because obviously, Dominic has a match coming up in a couple of days against Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. So you want to give him momentum going into that match. So that's fine. That is fine for the most part. But I thought they tore the house down for the most part. From there, we got CM Punk. He's tired of waiting. So he goes to the ring because he found out that Rollins was in the building already. So CM Punk is threatened to hijack the show. Right? Threatened to hijack the show. He calls out Rollins, but it was interrupted by Becky Lynch. And I mentioned this before, right? They played the music of Seth Rollins. So in Rollins, so in Punk's eyes, Seth Rollins is coming out. But no, it was Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch lambasted Punk for defaming her husband's name and being a distraction in every match since his departure, right? Because remember, for a long time, they were chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. And Punk responded by saying Lynch had a bad taste and she married a bum. And after that, Seth Rollins appeared and told him to confront him on the ramp. However, Lynch got in his way, and then Rollins left, and Lynch hit a flurry of strikes on CM Punk. Started slapping him multiple times, slapping him, and Punk just ate these slaps like it was nothing. And Punk said he would make her and Rollins regret what they'd done. And this, for a lot of people, it says, AJ Lee coming back. This is AJ Lee, man. AJ Lee. It's only a matter of time. Like, I know people are saying it. Like, I also know that Punk backstage was trying to look for Rollins and Becky after what happened, and Pierce said, they left already. So then he asked Pierce, where's SmackDown on Friday? And Pierce said, it's in Chicago. Home sweet home. And then Punk responded by saying, tremendous. That's tremendous. And he walked away. And Pierce's like, what does that even mean? There's discussion. There's word going around now that AJ Lee will be there on Friday. I'll believe it when I see it. But be that as it may, Punk made SmackDown this Friday. But just by saying that, must-see TV. Must-see. Even though SmackDown as of late really has not been that must-see. But also factor in, Cena will be there too. So there's that. I agree. Becky hit Punk so much that I lost count. Same here, brother. And then we got the main event. We got the main event of the evening. The vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The Braun versus LA Knight and Jey Uso. And I thought the match, and again, the match itself, it was fine, right? It was nothing to go crazy about here. Just the fact that, again, prior to this, LA Knight and Jay had a little talk backstage and about trust and, you do your thing, I do my thing. You stay out of my way, I stay out of your way, right? The match itself, again, just keep this in mind, LA Knight had he had his back taped up, his knees taped up, selling like the injuries from the PLE, and Jay had his ribs taped up. All this, again, it was for the most part, the back and forth, right? All this, and what do you know? Braun Breaker pins Jey Uso for the 1-2-3 after hitting the spear, and they proceed to beat up Jey Uso and LA Knight, and they hit the spear again on Jay, and then Bronson hit the tsunami, And then who happens to make the save? Because they were chanting for OTC. Edie was not there. But you know who was there? You know who was there? Jimmy Uso with a steel chair made the save. I'm like, where were you like a couple seconds ago when Jay was getting tsunamied and speared? The fuck is this, right? And they embrace, right? While Jay's laying there, Jimmy's like, it's okay, I'm here now, I'm here. I'll be honest, I don't mind the Usos reuniting. I don't mind it. A part of me feels like we're going to get the War Games. It'll likely be Jimmy J, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, maybe LA Knight versus Division, right? Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and probably throw in there 2 more people to feel, fit things out. We'll see how that goes. Couponer writes here. We are setting up Survivor Series War Games Division versus the original Bloodline. Yeah, you could add Sami Zayn. I can see that, right? You can add Sami Zayn to the mix, not LA Knight, but I feel like this is more of LA Knight though, because he's also had issues with division, right? So, but we'll see how things go. We'll see how they pan out. Overall, I thought Raw, again, the crowd made this show. They had a fun time. If this show been in the States, the show would have been just all right at best. But let me know your thoughts in the live chat, or if not, on the playback of this video stream, whatever you want to call it. If you also know, at WrestlePalooza, it is Io Sky versus Stephanie McCurr for the vacant Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza. If you've not checked out my Clash in Paris post show, go give that a watch whenever you get a chance. Also, I was in Europe while all this went down, but if you've not checked out my late honest review of Forbidden Door, go give that a watch. And follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that as always. Much love to all of you. I'll be back tomorrow for another live episode of Sad Something About Dynamite. If you're a channel member, you get to join me on the live stream and watch Dynamite and stuff like that. Okay. But that being said, guys, that's going to be it for me. Yeah, man, look, being punched by a chick, shit hurts. Okay. Except when you're Becky Lynch, because Punk ate them shit. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Much love to all of you. I'm out. Peace out, y'all.